They're basically cutting corners at the expense of low-wage workers to put more money into their own pockets. Hi, my name is Nadia Hewka. I'm an attorney in the employment unit, and I work on wage theft and other issues. Wage theft is the term that we use to describe a whole bunch of different kinds of behaviors when employers steal pay from their workers. So it can include overtime violations, it can include paying below the minimum wage, or it can include not counting certain hours, not paying someone for all of their time, making illegal deductions from pay. It can also include misclassifying someone as a 1099 worker or independent contractor instead of as a worker. I think a lot of people don't realize how big a problem wage theft is. There have been studies that show that more economic harm is caused by wage theft than by other kinds of property crimes, like typical theft that we think of as a crime. But yet wage theft isn't usually prosecuted as a crime. It's left to the civil system to deal with, and with workers to come forward and report. Low-wage workers are certainly more at risk of exploitation on the job because they're perceived as having less power. Wage theft tends to happen in workplaces that are non-union. But certain populations are more vulnerable to exploitation, be it wage theft or discrimination or other kinds of things that can happen on the job. Women of color, LGBTQ workers, immigrant workers are particularly vulnerable. Immigrant workers might not know that they have a right, if they're not being paid overtime, for instance, to go ahead and do something about it. But the law does protect immigrant workers no matter their immigration status. We helped work on a study a couple years ago with the Scheller Center at Temple to try to quantify the amount of wage theft that happens in Pennsylvania. And we estimate that between $19 million and $32 million per week is stolen from people. Think about the impacts that wage theft has on our economy. It definitely is devastating to the low-income worker who worked all this time expecting to be paid and then can't, let's say, make rent if they're not paid. But it has ongoing impacts. If people are being underpaid throughout the state in the rates that we found, that means that taxes aren't getting collected on that money, and those dollars aren't getting spent in the local economy. We think there are really good policy reasons to put more money into enforcement of the wage laws, and also more resources into trying to root out situations of wage theft in vulnerable communities that are being targeted for exploitation, and also good reasons to improve the laws and make those laws more impactful so that employers so there's a real deterrent against employers from engaging in wage theft practices. The advice I give to workers is keep track of your hours. If it's happening to you, then it's probably happening to other people at the workplace. So you should probably talk to your coworkers if you feel like you're being underpaid. If you go and talk to the boss together, then you're protected by the labor laws. So we recommend people join together if they're not being paid or not being paid all of their wages. There are things that they can do to fix that, either through their own banding together as a group or by contacting legal help.